So let's chat a little about the technical stuff, the stunts and the CG.
Sure.
I really couldn't tell what was what. I'm assuming, obviously, that the dog didn't bite the actor, and
no,
I'm pretty sure the dog wasn't thrown through the window. You probably had CG for the blood splatter, or no?
Oh, okay, this is what we did. The dog was real. The dog was biting the actor. He did have protection, and it wasn't an actor. It was for that scene. We had for that just one cut. We had a police dog trainer, and his dog. It's a police attack dog. So that's real. We didn't toss the dog out the window. Obviously, we threw out a what's called a puppet, not a puppet, a stuffed toy.
Okay.
And we stuffed that stuffed toy with about 15 kilos of bricks, so it can actually break through the window. And it didn't break through the window. The window was rigged with explosives to actually pop on demand. Yeah, and most of the blood is real. There are occasional spurts that are done by graphics because we like the part. For example, in the car, we're shooting the guys in the Jeep. We just couldn't. It'd be too complicated to shoot it for real. Because even without CG, it still took us about 10 takes to get the timing and everything right.
What kind of equipment did you guys use to shoot with?
Just the GoPro. That's
just
it.
The GoPro.
There's not a.
There's one a blooper video, I believe, that I found on your YouTube channel where there's, for an instant, you can see the rig, the head rig.
Yeah, it's a mask. It's special. We made a custom mask that fits the camera over your mouth.
And the actor didn't have trouble running and doing any of this stuff?
No, you see what we did? What we did was we cut out as much of the mask to have visibility. It still wasn't amazing visibility, but it's enough to sort of, he can jump from plane to plane all right with that mask on. He jumped with the car from car to car with it as well. Again, like the mask will be better because we are prepping a new mask. We're almost done with it. So we'll see what that is. But yeah, it's just the mask and the GoPro. That's all the equipment we used for the shooting. There's been obviously some rigs for the, like for tossing down the shaft. We had to have a special, what do you call it?
Harness.
Thank you. A special harness. There was no safety while he was jumping from car to car. That was all done for real. There was, what else was there? Special. Hold on. That was actually one more setup with hydraulics when he gets pulled up, when he takes the rope and shoots up the side of the building.
Before you get girls, right?
For the girls, yeah. That's another setup with the riggers. That's it. With the riggers.
Did you have any support from the GoPro people about?
We didn't ask for any because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't get involved because it is a very violent sort of thing, and we're not their target audience. But when we released it, I got a letter from them, from their office, and we had a nice chat with their guy, and they said they loved it, and they said they weren't too sure if they should put it up on their page because it is what it is. It's a very violent piece of entertainment. But in the end, they did. They did put it up, and that was great. I was told that they got some complaints, and they got a lot of new people who were sort of very excited. So they've been supportive, considering as supportive as they could be under the circumstances. And I'm pretty sure when I'm going to LA, I'll get a chance to meet up with a few of the guys, and maybe I'll get to steal maybe I get to steal a new camera or something. That'd be awesome.
Well, if you can grab the 3D one. Right?
Yes, actually, I have the 3D setup. We wanted to shoot it 3D, but we realized it's gonna be too complicated.
Okay. How about the parkour guys?
Yeah, we had Sergey, the guy who shot everything, and the guy who designed the helmet with me. Or actually, I designed the helmet with him. That'd be the right way to put it. He's a parkour guy. He's been a parkour guy for 7 or 8 years. He's very good. So he was the guy who shot 75% of the video.
Anybody had any accidents, broken ankles?
Surprisingly, no. We had minor stuff like blood and sort of like a few cuts and bruises, but it's nothing that we needed. Like, we had a doctor on set for some of the more complicated things, but there was never a major accident. Actually, there was one that I tried to pretend to forget about. It was on the first day of shooting when I'm the guy that gets shot with the AK-47 close range. And we sort of mistimed it, and I forgot to put in an earplug, and the AK was shooting blank rounds, and it shot me right in the face. So my face nerves went numb for a week or so, and my ear was ringing for about 6 or 7 months. But that's past now, so that's all good. That's why I'm trying to get over it. I'll be more careful next time.
There you
And
go.
don't forget my earplugs. Yeah.
Safety first. When you shoot an AK-47, put in earplugs.
Yes. No, it's just because we had so many takes, and then you sort of get distracted because it's a long system where you got to open up the helmet, you got to open up the camera, take the SD card, put the SD card in the laptop, check that out, put it back, and you got to think it through while what you're doing and talk it through with about 3 or 4 people that are doing the shot. So it is complicated, and sort of you do forget stuff. So next time I'll be more aware of not losing my hearing, because I thought for a second, if my ear does go, I couldn't play music for 6 months properly because it get really distracting, because the ringing was it wasn't constant ringing, it was the kind of ringing that sort of worked with several of the frequencies. So I couldn't, every time I sung, it would be like this annoying sort of thing. I felt like an old guy who had to hear some modern music. I was like, what is this shit? Turn it off.
I guess only in Russia are you going to find such easy access to weapons and playing.
The weapons were complicated. Most of the weapons were, if you see a weapon shoot, that's a real weapon with blank rounds. If you see a weapon...
The first one was fake, though, right?
The first what? The first shot?
Yeah.
No, that was a real shot. I was actually shooting. There is a blank round in there going off into the guy in the bag head. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, how about the stuntman? Tell us about the company that worked with you and how that all worked out.
We had a team of about 4 or 5 riggers, and we had one, the guy who we're chasing, the Oleg, the guy with the suitcase, the case. That's the guy who was the choreographer for the tricky tricks stunts. So we decided just to use him because there's no point getting somebody and then teaching somebody how to jump. So he actually shot the car scene. He shot the jumping from car to car. So it was funny because he jumped into the car and we cut, and then we have to shoot with him already being in the driver's seat, and Sergey would follow up with that. We had him. We had another guy who had with the harness who had a harness on him. He fell into the elevator shaft. We had, like I said, the dog trainer. We had one poor parkour guy do in one single jump because Sergey got sick and he couldn't do it. And I shot the part up in the Alps.
We posted your video on our channel as well, youtube.com/MadArtistPublishing, and people were asking what the budget was for this. You mentioned in the beginning that you backed it up with your private money. You paid for the stunts people, correct?
Yes. What I did was I borrowed money because I was sure we were going to get sponsorship. And then for a long time, I was a little screwed because we did half the video and the original sponsor backed out. Then we did the full video. I borrowed some more money, shot the full video, and we spent about 3 or 4 months going to sponsors because this video was prepared in early December. And I didn't have the money to do CGI and everything. And we went around looking for sponsors, and nobody wanted to back us. Everyone was like, no one's going to watch this. I'm like, you idiots. You will be regretting this later.
I hope you emailed them back.
And they are. Yep. Well, I mean, they're right. I do understand why a lot of companies didn't want to back up this violent video. So we got very lucky with the vodka brand Neft that decided to stick with us. I'm very fortunate with them.
So I gotta ask, can you assign a dollar amount to the budget?
No, it's we have an NDA with the vodka guys, so I'm afraid not. It's nowhere near as expensive as everybody claims. I can tell you that.
So could anybody do this with enough determination and perseverance?
I mean, look, if anybody can shoot a version of Titanic if they really persevere. So it's a question about how far you're willing to persevere. Remember those guys that shot the Indiana Jones movie, shot for shot? They did in their own backyard over like a period of 8 years.
No, I didn't see that.
No, I think there's 3 friends that shot. I think it was the first indie movie. They reshot it, shot for shot, and it took them 8 years. There you go. It's possible to shoot in a whole Indiana Jones movie in your backyard if you really want to. So anybody can definitely shoot this video if they sort of, it was a trial and error. It's a pretty hard thing to shoot. It was a hard thing to plan and a hard thing to, well, it wasn't that hard to edit, but it's pretty hard to edit. So it's possible, and, go for it. That's what I say.
Who mapped out the concept and the story? Was it you and Sergey?
We sat down for 30 minutes. The whole thing took, because we knew that this time we were going to be doing the chasing, because last time we were chased, so we thought, we should change it up a little. So we did that, and then we just started saying all the stuff, the cool stuff we'd love to do. We'd love to jump from car to car. We'd love to fly down an elevator shaft. We'd love to have a dog thrown out the window. We wrote it all down and saying, yeah, we're probably not going to shoot half of it. And then we actually shot all of it.
How long did it take to do the whole thing?
We did the concept in the year, I think it was December 2011. We had the presentation. Then in January, I shot the Alpine scene. And then we started shooting the video in July. In July, and we had 4 days in July. Then I went to the States for a little bit for some work. I came back, and I think October, we did the elevator shaft sequence and some more stuff. And it was February that we shot the sponsors, sort of, when we break the guy's head in with a vodka barrel. Yeah.
What did it